Welcome to episode 2 of Who Let Us Adult. So, I have a really great honor of being able to sit here and narrate one of my favorite stories, and that is the one of my lovely wife. So, for those of you who do not know, Jasmine was adopted as a child by a wonderful family. So I'll start off really this episode with really asking you this question, honey. Why do you want to tell your adoption story?
This is a lot of pressure. This is so much pressure. I, if you know Ian and I, you know that Ian is very extroverted, and you're going to be like, Jasmine, you're extroverted too. And I am, but one of us in this relationship loves the center of attention. and
It's her.
it's not me. It is not at all. So, um, I like being behind the scenes on stuff. So whenever the attention, all eyes are on me
Yeah.
on this, it definitely like makes me uncomfortable to talk about. But yeah, I want to share my story because it is a part of who I am and it means so much to me. It has shaped who I am as an adult and a mother, a wife, a friend, a daughter, just all of the things, a Christian,
Yeah.
like my faith. I don't know that I'm here without that. And I just have an incredible family that gave me that foundation. So I want to share that with people because there's many people that I've met over the
Yep.
years who don't know
Yeah.
that story and maybe have never heard my story from the beginning.
Yeah.
So
So let's start at the beginning.
yeah.
You were born in Cleveland, Ohio.
I was.
The
Yeah,
land.
come on. Believe land. Here we go. Dog pound proud. Browns.
What?
All right, let's go. What?
Anyway, I'm not. We'll go.
We're a house divided. You'll learn about that.
Yes. But anyway, born in Cleveland.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that upbringing.
Well, if we're going all the way back to where I was born, when I was born in 92 in Cleveland, but I don't have a lot of recollection of obviously that early season in my life. So my family, my adoptive family, they got me in foster care when I was 3 months old.
Okay.
And that story of like from 0 to 3 months, I've heard, some stories about how that came to be. One being that we were left, me and my sisters, my biological sisters were left, kind of alone. And child services got involved.
Yeah.
And, then here I am, a 3-month-old baby
Was
placed
it-
with my family.
Wasn't your oldest sister essentially raising you for
Yeah, I
the
believe
start?
so.
Okay.
I believe so. And that's another thing too is like it's kind of hard. I don't want to like speak for them
Yeah.
because they were older, and I would actually be very interested to have
That
a
conversation.
conversation and like really we have a little bit, but it would be very interesting to sit down and have that conversation fully, especially now being in this season of life where just the maturity
Yeah.
and being able to like wrap my head around the stuff that I don't remember
Yeah.
of my childhood. But
So-
yeah,
So, Jeff and Cheryl, they foster you to start.
yeah, my parents were foster parents,
Yeah.
so they had fostered. I don't know the exact number of
That's a
children that
lot.
they fostered. They fostered a lot of children, beautiful souls, just a heart for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and just took them into their house. And if you know my parents, you know that they are just true servant leaders.
Yeah.
Like they go above and beyond for anybody and everybody. So yeah, they fostered prior to me, but I was their last. I stole their hearts completely. Not that the other foster kids did not, because I've seen pictures of them and I just know like they're adorable. However, if you know anything about foster care and adoption is you're adopting.
Yeah.
You are bringing that child into your home like they are your child
Yeah.
right off rip. Foster care, the goal is not adoption per se. The goal of foster care is reunification with the biological family. So while the biological parents are basically getting their life together and, healing and getting into a position where they can care for their children are temporarily placed in foster care
Yeah.
with foster families. Sometimes in those instances, the parents may give up their rights and say, the foster family has permission to adopt. They might, my child or my children, or the reunification does happen.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the difference between adoption and foster care. So I was in foster care initially. And so for 5 years, so I was placed with them at 3 months. And then for the next 5 years, I went back and forth between them and Cleveland, my family in Cleveland, gosh, I don't even know if it would be like a week or 2
I was about to
weeks.
say, was it like every other weekend?
I don't know. I think if I remember correctly, and my mom will correct me on this, but I think it was like I would be like a week with them and then like a couple weeks back in Cleveland or something of that nature. But I could be wrong on that.
And I know there are rules when it comes to foster care. Yeah. So, like, I believe we'll fast forward a little bit. You were what, 4 or 5, and they went to Disney World, or
I think I was younger than that. Man, you brought this up.
Yeah,
this hurts. Oh, my parents broke my heart. I still give them crap about this, but yeah, when you're a foster child, you couldn't, at least back then, I don't know if the rules have changed now, but back then you couldn't take foster children out of the state that you're in. So out of Ohio, they weren't allowed to take me out of the state, and they went to Disney, and
you went to Cleveland.
I went to Cleveland. Gee, thanks. This is the happiest place on earth.
I went to Disney. I went to Cleveland.
Right. I love my Cleveland Browns, but dang, like, Disney would have been fun.
Yeah.
So I didn't get to go to Cleveland, or I didn't get to go to Disney.
Yeah.
And yeah, I still give them crap about that because, like,
that's stuff that like scars you.
Yeah.
As a teen.
No, they're. I don't even remember what they say now.
I feel like I owe you a Disney trip now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But I'll appreciate it.
Noted.
Yeah, I'll appreciate it way more now.
So I remember Jeff and Cheryl Cheryl was telling me probably about a year ago that at one point you would go up to Cleveland, you would cry so much because you missed being, with your parents now, and that ended up leading to, I believe it was your grandmother who recommended, or was it your aunt that recommended that, or no, it was your mom that recommended that, or had asked Jeff and Cheryl if they wanted to.
My biological mom was the one who was, I remember the way that my mom tells this story. She said when she was talking with my biological mom, she was like, she really loves you guys. And my mom was like, yeah, and we really love her. And she could just see, like, that I recognized them as my family because they were taking care of me during that season.
Yeah.
So when I hear that, and even when I look back at her making that decision to say, I give you permission to adopt my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have a relationship with her, but the amount of respect and, like, the strength that I know that took.
Yeah.
To be able to, I mean, we have children.
Yeah.
Now, and, like, that makes me really emotional.
Yeah.
That, you're willing to be like, wow, like, this family is taking care of my daughter. I'm gonna give that to you. So, yeah. It's powerful,
I do have, I guess my follow-up to this. Now, I know this, and we recently found this out about a year and a half ago, but your parents also fostered your full sister as well at the same time.
Yeah, they did. And that's oh my gosh, that's a deep story. Yeah. Like that's
I didn't know if you were comfortable going.
Not yet, just because that's and there are certain things that I think like are my story to share.
Yeah.
And then there's other things that, you know, I don't know that I don't know enough of like
The
the
details.
things that went around it. So I can't do it justice
Yeah.
and give it the proper care that I would want the person who went through it to be able to tell that side
Yeah.
of the story. So
Okay, we like I said, we'll table that. So you're officially adopted by, Jeff and Cheryl.
Yeah.
You moved down to, well, I guess, yeah, well, yeah, you moved down to their home and lived there full time. Tell me a little bit about transitioning growing up. What was that like? Because you went from,
transitioning from
the
city to
the hood
we have to
to the
specify
sticks.
what you mean by transitioning
That's
in
what-
2025.
and that-
I'm just saying.
Fair point. You're right. You transitioned from the hood to the sticks.
There we go. And we didn't talk about this.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it. But the drum roll. Can you do it for me? Drum roll.
It's a really bad
I was
drum roll.
adopted by a white family.
Oh, yeah.
I was adopted by a white family. So black girl adopted by a white family in small town, country town, Ohio,
Amish.
Williamsburg, Holmes County, back in the sticks, like you said.
The horse
We used
and
to
buggies.
call it BFE. We're not gonna tell you what that means. If you don't know what it means, I can't help you.
Urban Dictionary is free.
Is it urban? Or
Yeah, that
redneck?
is. It's a urban.
Redneck.
It's a slang term.
Okay, BFE.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, country town.
Country.
Yes, a lot of white people.
You were. What percentage of black folks were you in your
Like
in your school?
0.00001%.
I'll recommend. Yeah.
Yeah, and we were all friends.
Y'all had to stick together.
Right, we had to stick together for
What's
sure.
up, cuz?
Right. As soon as there was a black person that walked in, it was like,
Come join our clique.
right, literally. Yeah, you know who you are if you're watching this.
That's really funny. Okay, so you adopted by a white family.
Yeah,
In the
that
sticks.
transition coming down from the city to
Yes.
not urban, but to country life. So, I mean that there was no difference like for me because I was so little. So
Yeah.
that was my home, from jump. And growing up, like it was great. I had a blast. They have land. We were outside all the time, had a great time. I have two sisters within my adoptive family. So it was the five of us and our cousins. Like, it was just, we had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Now let's talk about it. You
Okay.
mentioned sisters. So two adopted sisters who we love.
Yeah.
Love them so much. But three daughters in one house with one bathroom.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
Gosh,
that.
that was awful. Oh my gosh, that was terrible. And this is not related to being adopted at all. It's just having one bathroom with three daughters is a literal nightmare. Especially as we became teenagers and started hitting puberty. And that was this could be a whole side tangent.
I pray for Jeff. I don't know how he managed that.
Yeah, I mean you've talked to him about it before. He's definitely like that was. We call those like the dark years, for sure, because it got crazy in the house. But
talk about your relationship with your sisters.
So my sisters are biological daughters of my parents, and then I'm the only adopted daughter, and which makes me the coolest. But I have a great relationship with my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest sister, she is like this protector and just typical big sis, oldest child energy. She's like the smartest person ever. Yeah, smartest person I know. And she's just like such a great protector. And then my middle sister is like both of their hearts are amazing, but my middle sister, like she's so sweet and she's so kind, like just the way that she talks to people. See, Ian's smiling. If you're listening to this, Ian's smiling like so big because he knows, like my oldest sister, she's very like she will grill you with questions. Like the way her brain works.
Yeah.
Like if I bring up something to her, I got to be ready because I'll be so excited about something And I'm just like ready for it. I'm ready to jump in. I didn't ask not one single question. And I'm like, yeah, I'm about to do XYZ, right? And then my oldest sister will be like, okay, but what about, all right, but what about blah, 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 blah?
Yeah.
And what about da, 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 da? And she just starts asking all of these questions that I'm like, I didn't think about asking that. I didn't think about that. I feel so dumb. Like, I'm like, okay, so wasn't a great idea, you know? If it's like a purchase, right? She
Right.
has this list of questions, and I'm just like, yeah, I just bought it. I
Just-
loved it. Yeah.
just winged it.
I just did it.
Yeah.
And then my middle sister, she is like, if I go up to her and I tell her like I'm super excited, you know, about something, and she'll just, yeah, like, oh, that's awesome. You know, she's just so supportive and just always just the sweetest smile on her face and so caring. Both of them are, and it's just awesome. Yeah. We have a great relationship.
Both your sisters are awesome, and I kudos and second everything you said. Your middle sister, you know, she really does embody middle kid energy.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, she's got the biggest heart, and I can just remember like some of the first times I met her, and she's so kind, so very soft spoken. Very soft spoken.
Yeah, which she gets off. I mean, both my parents are pretty soft spoken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your
And
oldest
I'm
sister, you fit in though. Don't know how. Your oldest sister is, like you said, firecracker.
Yeah.
I remember her grilling me when we first met, and I'm like,
yeah. And it's not firecracker, it's just analytical.
Yeah.
She's very analytical and has the way her brain works is her and my dad,
yeah,
they're like identical.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I go to my dad, the same thing. Like, I want to buy this car. And he's like, well, what about the mileage? And what about this? And then I'm like, I don't know. Don't know.
never looked at it.
I'm like, it's actually in Alaska. Like, that's actually a true story,
Yeah.
by the way. Did you know that?
No. You tried to buy a car in Alaska?
On Craigslist.
Oh, I've been there.
Yeah.
$3,000.
It was a Jeep Cherokee.
Yes, it's always a
He
Jeep.
was like, how's it going to get here? And I'm like, they're going to fly it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get it and drive from Alaska to here. They want me to wire the 3,000 small bills.
That is a true, this is why we made this podcast. That is a true who let us adult, because of why would I try to buy a car in Alaska. Anyways.
Been there, man. That's so funny that we've all fallen for that Craigslist
Not
scam.
all, because my dad and my sister would not happen. So
this car's real.
So then my middle sister and my mom, their personalities are very, very similar. Very soft spoken, kind, and just like very gentle. Yeah. So
talk about, you know, your sisters. They have a sister now. They have a
me.
You. How was, like, you know, did they tease you at all? I mean,
I'm their sister, man. Like, we fought just like regular siblings, biological siblings fight. We fought, and we loved hard and we fought hard for sure. Did they tease me? Yes, they teased me. There was one time, so when growing up, I had my natural hair.
Yes.
My fro.
The fro.
And
we love the fro.
My mom would put my hair in these puff balls that I hated. At first, I didn't hate them, but it was once my sisters started teasing me relentlessly, calling me, hey, puff balls. And, like, the way that they said it, it doesn't even sound like, Jasmine, you really got mad about that. But
you're
it's
a kid.
Your sisters, you're a kid. And they're like, you know that they're teasing you about it. So they'd be like, what's up, puff balls? Hey, puff balls. Like, just, and I was like, it's so annoying.
Yeah.
So now don't ever put this hairstyle on me again. Like, just stupid stuff. And then another thing that they teased me about was being adopted.
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard that there is a nickname that follows that.
Yes.
That
they had a great nickname for me.
It's the greatest nickname ever.
To you.
It's hilarious.
So my sisters would call me Fed. They'd be like, sup, Fed? Especially my middle sister. She would call me Fed. And the way that she would say it, sup, Fed? I'm just like, and you're probably like, well, Fed? Like, what are you talking about?
What's it short for? What's FedEx? Well,
you just gave it up. FedEx. I got dropped off by a FedEx man is what they claimed. And Just stupid.
I don't care. Every time it makes me laugh.
It still makes me mad.
Oh, and the worst, like, I mean, I guess it came from a movie, right?
Yes, it came from Cheaper by the Dozen. I
It's
found out
still
because the
don't care.
redheaded kid in
Still
Cheaper by
funny.
the Dozen, they called him Fed, and they thought that was funny, and they were like, "We're gonna call Jasmine Fed because she was adopted and she was dropped off by the FedEx man, and she's black, and I'm the only black one in the family." Like, just ridiculous. They're
Ew.
so annoying.
Oh my goodness.
So annoying.
Oh my goodness, they called you
You
fed.
love that story.
I do,
That's
I
so funny.
do. Every single time it makes me laugh. I don't know why. It's so mean, and that would have fitted.
But I mean, I give it to him. Like, and then I would cry and cry, and I'd go to my mom crying, and she was just like, "Well, that just means that we chose you. We were stuck with them."
Fair point.
Boom.
Yeah, mom with the points.
She had Mama was always dropping
Yeah.
wisdom on me growing up. Like, as I was growing up in a predominantly white
Yeah.
neighborhood, predominantly white school, my identity was, I mean, I was lost.
Yeah.
Like, that was a huge thing for me growing up, was like, who am I? Well, I don't like that I look different than everybody.
Right.
Like, my skin color is different, my hair is different, and back then we couldn't just go to Walmart. We couldn't just go to the store and get the right hair care products, get hair care products that worked for my hair. We didn't have access to the internet, YouTube tutorials, and Facebook communities and all of that, where you could talk to other families that are in this situation where you can learn things from them. So it's like my hair was a challenge, seeing that my skin was different. I didn't look like all the other girls. And especially as I start growing up and getting into middle school and high school, that's when it really started to become more of like a glaring, like, you don't want to be the oddball out. You want to blend in high school.
Yeah.
You want to be like, I don't want to stick out because of these features. Like, I just,
And
I want to fit in with everybody else.
And it's funny that as you talk about what was available at that time,
Yeah.
like there wasn't anybody necessarily in your parents' circle that could help educate you on how to take care of.
Right.
And it's funny, I just thought about this.
Yeah.
Your oldest sister, her husband fostered for a few years, and they had they had black kids.
Yeah.
And I remember, getting a phone call of, how do I take care of this little man's hair?
Man.
And me going, okay, this is what you got to do.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, you didn't have that, but I was able to help. Like, I don't know why that just came to me.
That makes me like that. My heart is like leaping. Like, I don't think I smiled that much and that big ever in my life, because, like, again, growing up and not having access to that.
Yeah.
And then having this full circle moment of, like, my sister and her husband are fostering, and they're fostering black children, and they're calling my black husband for advice on things that I wish my parents had somebody that they could have called.
May not have hair now, but
Right, but you used to have hair. And you had a great head of hair.
Did.
And it's like, there's the things that
Yeah.
and they recognize, like, that there are those differences, and they were, willing to reach out and ask and learn, which I think is just awesome. And my mom, bless her heart, like, she
did her absolute best.
She did. I mean, the fact that they were like, we are not only opening our home, we're opening our hearts, we are opening up our family, like, we are bringing you into our life, and we are calling you our own. Okay, so my hair looked a little crazy for a few years. Like, it's gonna be okay.
A little
crazy, but we got it.
The pictures don't look bad. Listen, I've seen the photos. They don't look that bad.
Okay, you say that because you love me, and I got
them track
teased,
photos.
I got teased relentlessly because it's not like there were no black people around. Like, we competed against black schools.
Oof.
And they were not nice. They teased me.
Girl, who did your hair?
See, you know exactly how it went. Oh my gosh, they teased me so much about my hair.
And then you cooked
them.
them.
That was awful. I mean, I was pretty good at basketball and track, so I was like, you know what? I wish I had the confidence I have now, because
Yeah.
I would be like, look at the scoreboard. Like,
This
you know,
nappy headed fro just
like-
dusted you.
I'll be like, you look at the, like, all my hair was like breaking off in the back, and I'd be like, well, you're gonna be looking at it when I cross the finish line. So.
Man. Man. Whoa there.
Yeah, and there was another point I was gonna make about my mom and her being just like this woman of wisdom, and just because it was their faith, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're Christians, and we grew up believing in Jesus and going to church and all of that. And I remember there was a time where I experienced prejudice and racism, and I remember the first time that I ever experienced that. And my mom came, or I remember this specifically. We were in Walmart, and we were walking around, and I was just really upset. And I remember looking at her and being like, you know, today wasn't a good day at school. I was like there was this kid, he was not very nice. She was asking me questions, you know, like, what happened? Who was it? And I told her, and then I was just like, he just called me like a really like ugly name, and it just really hurt my feelings. It was like the word.
The word.
Yeah, that was like the first time I
Hard R.
Hard R. It was the first time, like, under his breath, like just a lot of like hate behind it, you know, just
A mean one.
Oh yeah, for
A Stone
sure.
Cold Steve Austin one.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Where you look at it, you're like, you say that a lot.
That is in your everyday vocabulary.
For sure. And so that was the first time anyone has ever said that to me.
Yeah.
And so I was telling my mom about it, and I remember I appreciated this response, because I think it was a pivotal moment for me. But she was telling me, like, that's an ugly word, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that somebody said that to you. And then she added, I want you to always remember, though, that sticks and stones will break your bones, but words can never hurt you. And some people will be like, but it was that word, and they're racist and this, that, and the other. But that moment, like, I always refer back to that moment when she was talking to me about that, because from then on out, I never gave it power over me. I never let it affect me.
You was better than me.
I know. How so? What'd you do?
We're going to talk about that next episode.
Okay.
So anyway, you dealing with the white folks.
Right. But I never gave it power anymore. And it was like, I'm not going to say that I became indestructible.
Yeah.
Like, when it came to, you know, fitting in or getting, you know, mean comments from people, whether it was about my appearance or whatever, whether it was specific and blatant racism. I'm not going to say that I came out and I was Superwoman and I just attacked all of that and was like, yeah, you ain't got nothing on me. But as I got older, the more I could have grace. And I remember thinking, like, man, I feel so sorry for him. I feel so sorry that he is growing up in a home that teaches that. You know, like, he didn't just wake up one day and was like, I don't like you because your skin color. Like, that was learned.
Yeah.
And so, like, my heart actually was like, man, I actually feel really bad for you. Because if you're being raised by people that have that much hate in their heart for somebody because of the color of their skin, like, what else do they hate? And how do they treat you as a person?
Whenever I hear someone talk nowadays, because that word racist is thrown around so carefree now.
It's starting to lose its meaning.
Yeah, and I can confidently say that you and I maybe a little bit for me, but like, really, with, you know, where you were at, you experienced what I consider true racism.
Oh, yeah.
Where, you know, people, you know, now everybody wants to say, oh, you didn't do this slight thing to a different race. Oh, you're a racist.
Right.
No, you encountered true racists that wouldn't look at you.
Oh yeah, like they would move to
Walk,
the other side of the hallway.
yeah, like
Yeah.
if you touched them, they thought that they were gonna, inherit some disease.
Right.
That's a
Right. Right.
true
Right. Yeah.
racist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus
For sure.
what
It's like
we
they don't even want to be anywhere near you.
yeah
Yeah.
versus what we've seen in the world now, where I think that those people are just ignorant. Like, you're a moron, or you're ignorant. Versus a true racist that's
Like
like,
if somebody makes a joke,
yeah,
like there were different. I think there are differences. Like there can be insensitive jokes,
yeah.
but honestly, and I learned this from you.
If it's a good joke, I mean, that's
We're
a good
already
joke.
setting ourselves up to get canceled.
Oh, don't care.
No, but honestly, like the thing that I learned from you is like we do, and I started sending you stuff too. I'm like, we do need to get back to like making fun of each other
Yeah.
about our skin. Like I did that with my parents all the time. I would make the fact that I was their only black child a spectacle. We'd go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I would be like, Mom, I'm going to go grab something when she's about to get into line so that the cashier wouldn't see me with her. And then I'd come around the other side and start grabbing her groceries. And the cashier would be like looking at me and looking at my mom because there was a white lady and then there's this black girl that's just grabbing her groceries. And I would just not say anything. Grab her groceries and then walk out.
It'd been really funny if you like, hey mom, you should play along. I have no idea who this kid is.
I mean, she never said anything. Like she wasn't like Jasmine. Like I don't even think she realized what I was doing. But I was deliberately looking at the cashier. Like, say something, and then it's like they don't want to be like they're gonna look accusing this black girl of stealing groceries. Try it. Say something.
All right, so let's talk about high school again. I want to go back to high school.
Okay.
And you excelled in sports. So you were a standout track athlete. Were you a standout basketball athlete as well, or kind of?
I was. I did pretty good.
You were
I did
pretty
pretty good.
bad.
I was scared.
Let's talk about.
I was a little scaredy cat on the court. But I was good at defense and stealing the ball.
So
but getting it in the basket was a little bit more challenging.
I can play D.
I was very fast.
Shooting, not for me. So let's talk about that. Talk about that kind of experience. I know how my experience was at a predominantly white school, being the 0.1%.
Right.
What was your experience athletic wise, being the 1% at a predominantly white school?
My experience with it, I mean, I was like, I guess one of the better, especially track wise. Like I was a track star. Like that was my sport, was track and field. And then I loved basketball growing up. I just wasn't as good at basketball. And like I said, I was just timid when it came to being the center of attention and shooting the ball. But like, I don't know, track, I felt different being like in my lane and just, I got to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
So for me, like that I put a lot of my identity in my sport.
How so?
Because it was a place that I excelled.
Yeah.
It was a place that I kind of felt like I fit in a little bit more.
You belonged.
Yeah, and you know this because I think it was one of the things that we can really connected on was like we kind of blend in. We can blend in with a bunch of different crowds. In elementary school and middle school, like I was, and I still am, like I like Harry Potter, right? And I had friends that were very big into Harry Potter and anime and all of that, and I would sit at lunch with them and we would talk and we would get into all like the nerdy stuff. And then I could also go over and talk to like the drama folks because I love musicals, so I would talk to everybody that was in drama club and that were, okay, we're gonna do Annie, right? I wasn't a part of it. I wasn't in the musical, but I'm like sitting there like, okay,
I can speak in language.
I can speak. I can talk about the movie and the songs and like all this stuff. And then I was a part of the track team and the basketball team, and I was on varsity for both of those. So then I was a part of the jocks and the popular squad and whatnot, and so I was kind of like a chameleon. And so my sport was where I was like, it wasn't necessarily like the friends or anything. It was like just the sport. It was like me doing something where I'm like, yeah, this feels right, you know? Yeah. I don't know if that was what you were
Yeah.
wanting to get at.
Yeah. Talk about some of the accolades that you accomplished as, you know.
I ran track in college, and that's where, I mean, my faith grew way more
Yeah.
in college. And a lot of that had to do, like, I was so determined to get out of the small town. I
Yeah.
was like,
I ain't never
hate it
coming
here.
back.
I'm never coming back. Like, I don't like this. There's nothing to do. Like, the people are so closed-minded, blah, blah, blah. Like, that was my mindset back then. And then I get into college, and I was like, it was such a cool experience to have that diversity. And the girls that I met my freshman year, they like just diverse, right? Hispanic, black, white, like, you know, all, everybody.
You found your people.
I found people, my people. And the black girls, shout out to Hamby Hall, because y'all held it down for me, like, real talk. First time I learned to wrap my hair. They learned you. The first time I learned how to wrap my hair. Like, they heard my story, they listened, they welcomed me with open arms, and it was like night and day difference from my experience of the girls, the predominantly black teams that we would compete against, who would make fun of me. And then I go into college a little bit like, I'm kind of scared because I don't know how I'm going to be received, because I felt like I was too black for the white girls, and I was too white for the black girls. I learned just like cultural differences, you know, like I found. So there were things that I didn't realize were very white, because I didn't grow up with black families. Like, I went to a Baptist church with one of my black friends when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And like, that was culture shock.
Oh, yeah.
That was culture shock. I was like, why are we here for 4 hours? It's like,
start at 8.
I was like, why is everybody dancing? Like, what is going on? Like, I was.
Church is a spectacle.
I mean, not just that. It was just like, they were feeling it. And I was like, more power to you. But I'm used to sitting down, singing hymns, having the sermon, which was my grandpa, and then going to lunch at Grandma and Grandpa's house right afterwards.
And then going to watch the Browns.
And then going to and watching the Browns at their house. Yeah, like that was, it wasn't, church didn't last all day. So it was very different. And then also the type of singing too. Like, again, it was soulful hymns versus
soulful hymns.
Yeah, soulful hymns, and then hearing gospel and stuff, like, that was brand new to me.
Yeah.
So then getting into college, I started to get exposed more to that, and getting exposed more to the black community and the culture differences. So, like, there were things that, you know, it was like, wait, you don't like hot sauce? Like, no. I didn't know this was exclusive to the black community.
Frank's. Yeah, it's a natural gem.
No, but I do like watermelon.
Watermelon. Yeah, I'm not a big watermelon guy.
Yeah, okay. No, there were things I started to realize, like, food was a big one, where it was like, I guess there are things that I make that I'm like, man, like, if a black person saw me making this, who grew up in a black family, they would be like, that's what?
Curry.
That's Indian.
Doesn't matter.
I thought you were going to say, because I grew up in Amish country.
Curry.
Which I don't think I mentioned that. You mentioned it was Amish country, which I'm not Amish, by the way. I'm not Amish.
Neither her parents.
No. Oh gosh, like, I mean, noodles and mashed potatoes and
yeah, that's
apple butter.
Yep. Fried mushrooms.
Yamazetti.
Yeah, I never heard of yamazetti.
Yamazetti is really good.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Add some seasoning to it.
They do fried chicken too.
Yeah, your mom's a cook. She can go.
My mom can
She can
cook.
throw down.
My mom can cook for sure. I also never had baked mac and cheese until I met you and your family. And
your mac and cheese
I'm a
got
Kraft.
leveled up.
It did, but like, so I like Kraft mac and cheese. they're gonna be like, you're gonna lose your black card. It's fine, take it.
I bang gave it up.
I gave it up a long time ago. But I like Kraft mac and cheese because it's nostalgic. Because I remember eating it when I was in Cleveland.
Easy meals.
And I was meeting with our social worker. And I would be sitting with the social worker, and I would be sitting at our little two-seater table that was in the kitchen, and I was eating Kraft mac and cheese. And, like, I love Kraft mac and cheese, like,
That
to
is
this
a
day.
core memory.
Yeah, it's like, for whatever reason, it just brings up, like, it's like when you smell something.
Yeah.
And it, like, tastes you. It's like, that's what Kraft mac and
That's
cheese,
what
it
Kraft-
always brings up that memory for me. It's very weird.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, the baked mac and cheese with your family. Oh man, the first time, like,
The first Thanksgiving with me was
oh
wild.
man, come into the first experience that I had with your family.
First cookout.
Was a cookout. It
Family
was
reunion.
It
Oh my
was
gosh.
Memorial Day.
Yeah.
It was Memorial
the
Day.
Memorial Day family reunion.
Yeah. And they threw down.
Fish,
I
fried
was
fish.
like,
This is
I never
food.
had greens before. I never had baked mac and cheese. I never had fried catfish.
Woo.
I never had grits.
Oh, my eggs.
Oh yeah, Ian's eggs are superior. Like, you make phenomenal eggs. They're very good.
Yes.
I will give you that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So, college is a special time for you because like you mentioned before, you're starting to get you're getting a culture shock, as you would say.
Yeah, I'm getting cultured.
But it's also when, and we're not going to tell this story tonight, but it's also when you met me. And one of the things that I kind of nudged you to, because I ask questions and I'm nosy, was if you had any contact with your biological sisters.
Right.
Or anybody on that side
Yeah.
of the family. I know we didn't mention it before, but do you know what your biological mother passed?
She passed in 2007.
Okay.
So when I was in college, it was my sophomore year of college.
Yeah.
We were dating, and I went on Facebook and just started typing in their names because my mom had told me what their names were. I remember I used to have a picture of my oldest sister, and her name was written on it, but I had lost that picture. And so I remember typing their names in, the ones that I could remember, and I couldn't find them. And then I eventually, like, it just hit me all of a sudden. And I remember I put in one of my sister's names, who I had forgotten and then just remembered.
Yeah.
Put that into Facebook, full name. She pops up, and I'm like, is this her? Because I didn't have a picture of her, so I didn't know what she looked like.
Yeah.
So I clicked on her, and then I start seeing some other names that look
Similar.
And then I found my oldest sister's name, and that was who I had her picture.
You recognize her?
Not only did I recognize her, but I recognized her name, and I realized I had been spelling it incorrectly. And so once I saw her name, I was like, this is them.
Yeah.
And I reached out. I sent a message to my aunt and reached out and was like,
Hi.
hey, like, I don't know if you guys are, you guys might be my family. Like, it felt really awkward to reach out and say this, but she got back to me, like, within 24 hours.
And if I'm correct, they were kind of looking for you?
Kinda. They had no way
Yeah.
to find me. They had no information.
Yeah.
So, like, the yes and no, and it wasn't, if they could have found me, they would have, but there was just no way that they could have found me. So it was just a very, divine moment for sure.
So who all did you get connected with?
I got connected with all of my sisters. So there's 6 of us total. I met an aunt, a cousin. Grandmother. Yeah. And then, like I said, I found out that my mom had passed away in 2007. So I wasn't able to meet her. But, yeah.
Yeah, and
And I've met my biological father. I
yes,
like FaceTimed
yeah, I remember.
him.
Some random
Yeah.
Christmas.
Yeah.
That
Random
was
Christmas. And one of my full sister, we have the same mom, same dad. She was like, "Do you want to meet your father?" She called him sperm donor. But
the
I was
nickname.
like, yeah, I was
Like,
like,
sure.
sure. And yeah, I mean, it was cool because a lot of my life, I had always been like, who do I look like?
Yeah,
Who do I look like? I looked in the mirror and I would be like, whose eyes are staring back at me?
yeah,
Like, whose nose do I have? Whose mouth? Whose lips? Like, especially growing up in a predominantly white community, like, our physical features are
yeah.
different. Thicker lips, wider nose, like, just different. And I just wanted to know where I came from. And
And on
yeah,
top of that too, I mean, as we, get together, get married, start having kids, one of the things that it's not a huge concern, but it is a concern is medical history. Like,
yeah,
I know my family's medical
right.
history. We have no idea.
Right.
For
So it has been nice to be able to ask those questions. I mean, so
yeah,
far, lineage, we healthy as,
yeah.
yeah, we're very, very healthy.
I was about to make a really poor joke. I decided not to go that way. But yes, 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 yes.
Okay.
Okay, so kind of wrapping up the finding the family.
Yeah.
So, I nudge you. You find the family.
You were just so instrumental in
Yeah,
making that happen. I don't know
I'm
that
not trying to cheat my own horn. I'm
I know
calling
you're
you.
not, but I'm gonna give you your
Yeah,
flowers because I don't know that would have happened if you wouldn't have been the one that coordinated behind my back and
that's where
surprised
I was
me.
going with that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I I reach out to your oldest sister
Yeah.
and say, hey, I think it would be a great idea if you could we can orchestrate, some kind of surprise where you come down. I believe another one of your sisters, and then she brought her two kids with
My
her.
niece and nephew. Yep.
Um, and at the time you're a sophomore, we had only been dating for a year and a half,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah, a year and a
Yeah.
half, something like that. And I remember that day vividly, sitting at Artebine, having lunch with them, and just talking.
Right.
Take us to that day and your emotions of
Yeah.
getting a chance to, as you say, look at someone who looks like
Right.
you, has the same mannerisms and temperament.
Man, that was pretty cool. It's like top 10 one of the best experiences of my life. And it was so unexpected. I remember being so emotional. I mean, it was very emotional because like you're looking at this person that you're biologically related to,
Yeah,
that you knew at one point in your life, but because I was so young, like I don't have those memories anymore. And then to look at her and she has a lot more of those memories. Like she was older. I think
yeah,
she was 11. She was like 10 or 11
yeah.
years old when all
Oh,
of
she
this was
has.
going down.
Yeah, I remember you saying that she has a
Yeah.
lot of the
Yeah,
memories.
so like she like knows this and
Vividly.
yeah, so just being able to meet her in that moment and then yeah, it was just I mean like I said it was one of the coolest experiences ever and seeing my niece and nephew there and being able to look at somebody and yes we do like there are some resemblances between us but I think the biggest thing was temperament and our personalities and mannerisms like it was oh my gosh like I've my entire life I've been a part of this amazing family that I absolutely adore and love. I have felt like I wa- I was in an identity crisis for a majority of my life, and
Yeah.
I was searching, for who am I? Who do I look like? Where do I come from? And I also felt like, I was the black sheep, literally and figuratively speaking, because I looked differently, I acted differently. I'm like, man, I get mad pretty quick, like where does this anger come from? Because my family, it takes a lot,
Very
like for them to
calm.
yeah, they're very calm, and like I can just like go 0 to 100, and then I meet my biological sister, and I started to find out, like, she was like, oh yeah, that's that Kirkland blood. I was like, wait a minute, what? There's a name for it? Like,
It's a whole thing.
right, it's a whole thing. And back then I was big into drinking, and that didn't help the anger issues. And she was like, yep, gotta stay away from tequila, and I was like, ooh, that was my favorite.
For those who never met Jasmine, during those times, she had an alter ego. We called her Bianca.
Yeah, you don't want to meet Bianca. No.
Bianca hasn't been around for years.
She's gone.
She's
gone. It's just jazz. It's just jazz now. And that was because of the Lord, right? That was like you orchestrating this, God putting so many different people into my life throughout the years. Like I said, I struggled with an identity crisis, but I also struggled with, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I remember what I was going to say. So it's when, and it left me. I'm like watching it like go away. When you like have a thought and you're just like, no, come back. But man, no, it's like right there what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to talk about not imposter syndrome. That's not what I'm looking for. It might come back to me. Anyways, so my faith was a huge part of my life. So going through high school, coming into college, meeting you, like there were people that God strategically placed in my life, and I recognize that and I see that, and I'm so grateful and thankful for that, because it's like without him, I wouldn't have been able to grow and mature and realize like the blessings that I have, and it can be really hard when you are in this situation where I was taken from a bad situation and given this opportunity that I have, where I have a family that's taking care of me and loving me and welcoming me in as biologically one of their own.
Yeah.
And I still want to know where I came from, and I didn't want that to come across as I didn't appreciate
Or ungrateful,
or I was ungrateful for the life that I had.
I think that's human nature, though.
Yeah, for sure. It really is. Yeah. It's like by design. We crave that. We crave figuring out where we came from. I mean, if you look at different situations, actually, I think there was a study that I found where it was like 95% of adoptees, like they have that desire to figure out where they came from and who they look like. It
reminds me of that Delivery Man movie. You know what movie I'm talking about?
I don't think so.
Vince Vaughn. Where
I don't think so. I don't really like Vince Vaughn.
He accidentally fathers 676 kids.
Oh gosh.
At a sperm donor.
And my gosh.
They want to like know who he is. But he like signs a thing. Anyway, but that's the whole premise of that movie is they're all adopted kids that want to just know who their dad was. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, let me ask you this as we start to wrap up here. We've
I remember what I was going to say.
There it is.
Survivor's guilt. I have to say it before it goes away.
Survivor's guilt.
Survivor's guilt.
Got it.
I struggled with survivor's guilt for sure. So.
Do you want to elaborate on that?
Just very quickly, but because we could have a whole episode on survivor's guilt. Yeah. But I mean, I was given an opportunity. Yeah. And then I'm like, why? Why me? Why? I ask that question all the time. And there is some days where I still ask that question.
You look at your life compared to my life. Even your biological sisters and go, man, that, not saying that they're not doing well, but
the things that they had to go through, the things that they had to witness that I didn't have to. Yeah. And I think I was very sheltered. Yeah. And I grew up a very privileged life. I did not want for anything. I went to college. My parents paid for that. They helped me get a car. They didn't pay for the car all the way. Like my dad was like, "You're gonna pay us monthly." It helped me set up an account, but like he was teaching me, how to do that and instilling that in me. So it's not like they just handed me everything. But there were things that I didn't have to struggle with. Right. I always had a hot meal, 3 meals a day. You know, I went to school. I went to a good school.
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to play sports. I wasn't around violence. You know, that wasn't my story.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not going to speak for my sisters and what their story is, but there are things that I did hear because we didn't mention this, but I did meet my other sisters as well. I think there's one sister that I haven't met in person yet, but I've met everybody else too. And it also felt like that we've known each other our whole lives,
Yeah.
which is so crazy to think about. We've never had a conversation as adults until now. And you couldn't tell that we spent years and years apart.
Right.
So very, very cool. So yeah, that survivor's guilt, it comes up sometimes, but I also just have to remind myself that, you know, God has a plan for everything. And there was a conversation that I had with one of my sisters, and we talked about that. Mm-hmm. And she reminded me, she was just like, not to like sit in that and dwell on that, you know, because another part of that is like, and like, do they hate me because I was adopted and, you know, by this family and all of this. And it's like, no, there's none of that. Mm-hmm. Like, they're all very, very happy for me, and they're doing well in life now. So it's like, we can't sit and dwell on the past. So, yeah.
Well, is there anything you would like to add as we, you know, wrap up your story? I mean, is there anything that I missed?
No, you've been freaking awesome. You're like the best. You're the best, seriously. Like
I'm just winging it.
No, I mean, you're awesome. Yeah. You know how much this means to me. You know, like, this is my story. So a question that I just thought of for you is your perspective of meeting me, meeting my family, and being like, I told you that they were white. I told you I was adopted. It's usually something that I lead with. Like, I should have kept you in the dark. That would have been hilarious.
Oh, man.
That would have been so funny.
That would have been a top tier joke. I'd have been like, kudos.
Now in our relationship, I would have been like, yeah, I'm keeping this from
I'd have walked up and who are these white folks?
Who are these white people? That's funny. But yeah, what was your perspective?
That is a great segue to end this episode. Because we're going to start off episode 3. Well, we're going to, I'll answer that question in episode 3, which we're going to title Controlled Chaos, which is...
We'll see. We're in the works.
Listen, which is the story of my story. Because it is, when you hear it, it is truly controlled chaos. And there's a lot of this story actually you don't even know.
I'm interested.
Which is wild.
I'm ready for this.
So Jasmine, do you want to hit us with our fake sponsor of the week?
Fake sponsor of the week.
Fake sponsor of the week.
Here we go. So we are sponsored, not sponsored. Sponsored, not sponsored. Okay? I'm going to make that very clear. We are not sponsored by Dark and Lovely. For all your hair relaxer needs. My mom, as a shout out to you. I think it was actually just like me that we used a lot for relaxers back in the day.
Oh my gosh.
But Dark and Lovely is up there. Yep. Okay.
Anyway, thank you guys. Jasmine, tell us where people can find us.
You can find us on Instagram, on TikTok. You know, Who Let Us Adult Pod on Instagram, Who Let Us Adult on TikTok. And if you're listening to this and you listen to this on all of your podcast listening abilities, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, Who Let Us Adult.
Please like, subscribe, and we will see and hear everyone on the next episode.
Stay tuned every Sunday at noon.
Who Let Us Adult. We out. Deuce.